It down to the Daily Dodge TV studios with Terry Bell for today's community comment.
Thank you so much, Jake, and welcome everybody to Community Comment. Our guests today are from Fox Lake. It's this time every month when we talk about all the latest happenings in Fox Lake. Our guests are Mayor Tom Bednarik, City Administrator Kelly Crombie, and today we're happy to be joined by Angela Thomas. She owns the Fox Lake Lounge, and she also serves on the Highway Construction Task Force. Welcome, all of you, to Community Comments.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, Jerry.
Of course. And if you would like to join the program, we invite you to give us a call or a text at 920-887-9595, especially if you live in Fox Lake. You can also call the WBEV studio line at 885-4446. Well, you know, the big story in Fox Lake right now is the road construction that we'll be in for during this road construction season. But you brought some good news, Kelly, last time you were on the show, that that work has been moved up and shortened.
Yeah, so I think the state moved up the Highway 33 project and worked with Dodge County, which was doing the Highway A project, to make sure that those projects were happening at separate times of the summer. So I think that was a real benefit for the residents and businesses in Fox Lake, where instead of having 3 years of back-to-back construction, we'll now get 2 projects done in 1 year. They won't overlap with each other. We'll get a year off to plan for the downtown project, which will be the most, of the 3 projects, that will be the most disruptive to the community, having the whole downtown tore up for that summer.
So that's what you're getting ready for, the downtown rebuilding.
So right now we're dealing with Highway 33 from the intersection with 73 by Randolph to Forest Street in Fox Lake. And then, so that's the first part of this summer. So that's kind of front and center on our plates right now. The second part of the summer will be Highway A from the city limits to Highway 151. So it won't affect the city too much, but there's a lot of traffic that comes in that way, and they're going to have to probably just go through Beaver Dam and get up to Fox Lake that way. And then we're looking ahead towards the Highway 33 project in 2028, which will be from Forest Street to City Hall.
Okay. Angela, you're joining us on the show to share your perspectives on, you know, the work that the Highway Task Force is doing. And, of course, this is a big concern for businesses that are getting the access to their front doors disrupted for a long time.
Yeah, we are working really hard to get a few of the businesses that are on that stretch to make sure people know that it's open and that they're able to go and access that. We're concerned about the ones on the lake, and especially on Chief Kuno Trail. We have the Boathouse and Shores who don't have another outlet, like Howard has another outlet that you could come the back way. So we just want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to advertise and put up signage and let everyone know that we need their support. And even though it's inconvenient, but please come and see them and support them.
For sure, for sure. Like, how close, is there some sort of trick to how people are going to have to drive and park and maybe walkaways to get to the business district?
Well, right now the business district is still open, so you can go around. I guess Randolph residents, or if you're coming from that direction, you could take P and come around to come into town. But if you need to go out towards the lake, you can get to Leroy Meats. Right now there's signs there, but you can go around them to get in there. And if there is some police presence there too, you just need to tell them that you're going to whatever business you're going to, and they'll let you in. And Leroy has a parking lot. I know for Chief Kuno Trail, once you get on Chief Kuno Trail, there's no construction there, so you would just go to the business as normal and park in their parking lots.
I'm guessing this works like a lot of construction zones where it's through traffic is not allowed, but if you're coming to do business somewhere in the construction zone, then you can come in.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, very good. And I understand, as Angela mentioned, there is some publicity happening around this to raise public awareness about what people can expect.
Yeah, so we have an email list that a lot of businesses and the chamber members and residents have signed up for. We put up some locally placed signs that the city paid for that we put at all the different road close signs. We got a permit through the DOT to put those up. Steve Christian, who owns Leroy Meats and is a task force member, he designed those and we got those put up on Friday, so those are up. We put up a couple of digital ads on Google, hoping to make people aware that they're able to get through. So we're just looking to try and help all the businesses that do so much for our community try and get through this period of time. It's not fun for anyone, but it needs to be done, and the road will be completely redone when it's at the end of the summer. So we won't have to deal with this for a while.
Well, exactly. And then when it is all done, you've got years of quality surface for residents and customers to drive on.
Yeah, so it should be at least 20 years before they have to come back and do any routine maintenance type on those roads. So, once it's done, it's done. It's not terribly convenient this summer, but it needs to be done, and then we're in a much better spot after this is done.
Absolutely. Our guests today on Community Comment are from Fox Lake. We're talking about a lot of things, road construction. Up after the break, we're going to be talking about housing, economic development, and some exciting developments at the public pool in Fox Lake. We'll take a quick break here, but we'll be right back. You're listening to Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
This is the WBEV Morning Show.
Sherry, a recent study found that women spend an average of 70 days of their entire life shaving their legs.
I think a man decided that women needed to do that somewhere along the way.
I didn't talk to the mayor yet. Gonna make a declaration for the city of Beaver Dam through the rest of February, Sherry. No shave February for the entire city limits of Beaver Dam. It's kind of like May where you don't mow your lawn.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on 95.3 WBEV.
I'm Sawyer. And I'm Shannon. Together, we're Twin Stunts, the only twin motorcycle freestyle show in the world. We are born and raised in Wisconsin, so we want all our fellow cheeseheads to know that even though we clutch it up, hit 12, and drift in our show, we would never do it on the open road. And there's another thing we would never do on the road. Drive drunk. Drive sober, or get pulled over. Together, we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
QBS Law in Beaver Dam and Mayville is a full-service local law firm. QBS's attorneys and skilled support staff are ready to serve all your legal needs with a personal touch. QBS handles personal injury claims, disability, litigation cases, business matters, corporate and business issues, criminal traffic and drunk driving cases, real estate transactions, probate, estate planning, and more. Call QBS Law in Beaver Dam and Mayville or visit them online at qbslaw.com.
These are the happenings in your community. Thank you for joining this edition of Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily.
Terry Bell.
Thank you so much, Jake, and welcome back to Community Comment, everybody. Our guests today are from Fox Lake. We have City Administrator Kelly Crombie, Mayor Tom Bednarek, and we have Angela Thomas of the Construction Task Force. A lot of road work happening in Fox Lake in the near future. And that's exactly, Angela, what you wanted to mention, that the public is invited to attend task force meetings.
Yes, we meet every first Wednesday of the month at 7 a.m. We have 5 committee members. It's me from Fox Lake Lounge, Sonia Quaid from the real estate, and
Marcy Benz from
Snappers, the Steve Christian from Leroy Meats, and Tim Nails from Nails Realty as well. So we're on the task force, just trying to get awareness out there and help the businesses and keep everything moving during this construction season. But anyone is welcome to attend. If you have ideas, you can also reach out to any of us or email us. But we're happy to hear what you have.
Is there anybody from any kind of sector you're particularly interested in hearing from that maybe doesn't have much representation at the meeting so far?
I think we've seen a lot of interest from the businesses that are in that area. Steve Hookstra came last time from Hookstra's Market and Greenhouse. So I think, this one is a little bit unique in that most of the businesses that are directly affected are outside of the city, but in that rural area, kind of off of 33. But we're all trying to work together. The 28 is going to be more of the downtown. They're going to have more impacts. But I think just getting people there that want to be involved. I know the chamber's been looking at ways to help out and get involved too. So I think it's been a good positive group that we've put together.
And where do they meet, and how can they get in touch if people would like to get involved?
We meet at City Hall, and they can reach out to any of the business owners or the city directly, and we'd be happy to help.
Okay. Another exciting thing happening in Fox Lake right now is a new housing, both in the works and happening right now.
Yeah, we're very excited about it, is because they've got all 6 new apartment buildings going, so that'll be 72 apartments itself, and quite a few single-family homes. In fact, they just took out permits for 2 more up in the Maher property that the city's got. So, yeah, it's single-family homes and that. And then behind Leroy Meats, Brian Young has got some condos or side-bys there, too, doing, and he's got finishing up them. So I know he had to have one finished by the 15th of April because it was sold already. So it's very positive on housing, and it's good for Fox Lake and good for the community.
Yeah, I would think so, because you're helping serving. There's a need for housing all over this area, so a lot of people could live in Fox Lake and commute to work wherever they happen to work.
Fox Lake's a pretty great location, right? Near 151, we're still you can get to Madison. It's commutable to Madison, commutable to Sun Prairie. We have good schools in the area, good quality of life, natural resources. So I think Dodge County as a whole has a lot going for it, and I think we're happy to see some housing opportunities in Fox Lake.
So all told, how many apartments and single-family homes are we talking about together? How many households are
We're at
being
about
created?
about 100, just under 100, with between the single-family homes, the duplex units that are going to be owner-occupied, and then the apartments, just under 100, I would say.
Right, and this is both for owning and renting.
Owning and renting, yeah.
Yeah, right. So something for everybody.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's great. Also, you got some exciting news since the last time we spoke about some sponsorships for your innovative and I think really fantastic public service, the public pool sponsorships.
Yeah, we've got every single day sponsored and free this year. So when we get a little closer, we're going to announce that publicly to all of our news outlets in the area. But we've got every single day free, and we've had so much interest that we've had businesses now sponsoring ice cream because the days have already been full. So
yeah, so out of pool sponsorships, so now it's free ice cream sponsorships
on some of the days, not all of them yet, but if people want to donate that, we're happy to do that too. But I think that's been it's been really important to our residents and visitors. $5 admission might not seem like a lot, but you've got a family, and I think it's 4 or 5 times the amount of people we had before we did this. So I think it's been a very good program for our allows businesses and nonprofits to get some publicity, show off themselves that day, and then also for the residents and visitors, and we'll see what happens this summer.
Yeah, not only the publicity, but I think it generates a lot of goodwill too.
Yeah, it does. I think, we're not Dodge County's not overly wealthy, and, $20 to go to the pool when you got it's a lot of money, and this goes a long way to helping those families. And also, just wanted to give a shout out to the Dodge County YMCA. They do all the lifeguards for us, so we're continuing that partnership again this year.
Oh, that's terrific.
He won't admit it though, but it was an idea that Kelly had to do it, and I mean, it's just blown out. It's been fantastic, and like Kelly said, to a family of 3 or 4, when you can bring the kids in every day, and not only that, but it helps the businesses. So mom and pop stop at your Quick Trips, or Leroy Meats, or downtown Fox Lake Lounger, or downtown and that too. It helps everybody.
And if I remember correctly, you don't have to be a Fox Lake resident to use the pool.
Correct.
Or pay any extra.
No.
It's free to you too if you live, no matter where you live.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I think that's just an exciting opportunity for a lot of people. A lot of exciting new developments at many of your long-established businesses, probably some new ones, too.
Yeah, I mean, I think Leroy Meats has their new store open. That's been open about a year now. Sally Tomato is currently adding on to their warehouse. They're doubling the size of their warehouse. We've had some businesses downtown. Maybe Angela would want to tell them about the grant partnership she had with the WEDC.
Yeah, absolutely. Please.
Yeah, so the Fox Lake Lounge has been open about a year and a half. We purchased the building about 2 years ago, but we applied for a grant through the Wisconsin Economic Development, and that was really great. It does take a lot of paperwork, but once you get all of your quotes and everything aligned, if you get approved, they do you pay for everything up front, but they give you a percentage back, which is really great. And there's only one accepted in each city each year, or available to be accepted. If you don't apply, obviously that doesn't pertain. But so the hope is that once we have that going, that more businesses will take that on. So my grant was accepted already a year and a half ago. So this year it's up for another one. And I know other communities take that too. I know there are people here in Beaver Dam who do it, and other surrounding communities. So definitely look into that. If you ever need any information on it, please feel free to contact me directly. I'd be happy to work with you and get that information. And it is mostly downtown buildings, historical buildings, that this partnership is, because they want to help restore these old buildings. I mean, they take a lot of love in TLC, but it's just kind of great to see the downtown come back alive and become vibrant again. So
Yeah, where did you first get the idea to apply for this partnership?
when we bought the building, we were just looking for help, and I mean, it's a lot of money to take that underway, but yeah, we just were looking around everywhere and happened to stumble upon it. And the guy that we work with is amazing, and he's been really helpful, and has worked with the city too, because it does have to go through approval through the city as well. That way they can obviously track that it's one per city, but per year. But it's been really good. So
Yeah, you mentioned you'd be willing to help anybody else who might be interested. They're free to reach out to you. What would you tell a business like yours or any other that you might want to be a part of this? What are the upsides that you've experienced?
Well, financial help, for instance. I would say that's probably the biggest takeaway, but just being a new business owner and also not ever doing anything like this before, it's a lot to kind of think about all the things that the business might possibly need. So for me, it helped me to kind of write everything down and think about what electrical, what plumbing, because it's really only things that is in the structure itself. It's not like buying a table or something. It's maybe paint on the wall, or the light that's adhered to the wall, or brickwork, or electrical, plumbing, all of those things. So it was nice to get a budget to sit down, because they hold you accountable to all those things, and you need to get a quote for all of those things, and you need to be able to show that you can pay for them. Although you may get reimbursed for a portion of it, you do owe all that money up front. So for me, it was really nice to be able to sit down and see all of those things, and just kind of make it all come to fruition. So now, as we're starting to knock out things on that list, it's a really nice check in the box too. So
Okay, very good. Before we go, I'd be remiss if we didn't mention Mayor Bednarik, a big milestone for you last week. You were reelected, and you've been a public servant in Fox Lake for a very long time.
Yeah. It's been really my pleasure. I mean, when you see the growth we've had, and that, it's just fantastic. Yeah, it's been 33 years I finished up. I'm finishing up right now, so it is a long time. But Fox Lake's at the heart of me, really is. And I mean, we like to see it growing, and we moved away from what they used to call a retirement community, because if you don't have a combination of both, and especially we found that out with our schools too. We were on a committee for a couple years to try to get the school back open and that too, and it just, everything, you need that for a community, for people to move in, and no, it's been fantastic, and I've enjoyed every minute, and I tell you, the man sitting here to my left has been one of the biggest assets of Fox Lake, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. What you probably described, how have the challenges changed over the years? It sounds like it's more focus is being, more thought is being given into, what it can take to keep Fox Lake thriving.
I think I'm just going to start with the members, the city fathers on the council, is that before I don't think that the vision was there, where now you see a vision of where we want to go in that. And that was the biggest thing, is to drive through, is to get what we possibly can be. And it really, we've got a great community with the lake and everything. I mean, it's a good asset. So utilize that as much as you can, no doubt. And it's been a good ride, there's no doubt.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, our guests today on Community Comment for the first half of the program have been Kelly Crombie and Todd Bednarik and Angela Thomas of Fox Lake. And Angela, of course, is with Fox Lake Lounge and the Construction Task Force. Thank you all for joining us on Community Comments.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll talk with Washington County Executive Josh Schoemann. We're going to take a break for the news. Don't go away.
Got us.
right back into the action here in the Daily Dodge TV studios with Terry Bell. We will send it there now. Here is Terry Bell.
Thank you very much, Jake, and welcome back, everyone, to Community Comment. For the second half of our show, we're pleased to welcome Washington County Executive Josh Schoemann. Josh, welcome to Community Comments.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. Wonderful to be with you.
You know, there's a big issue happening in Wisconsin, and I know you wanted to weigh in on that, and that's about the school funding formula for Wisconsin, its impact. We've had another spring of multiple referendums. Many of them passed, some of them failed, and it's really getting to be a big issue, especially in those small rural districts where the funding to keep the schools operating and kids educated is getting harder and harder to come by. And you had some thoughts on that you wanted to share.
Yeah, thank you. It is a huge issue that I heard all across the state in my travels, and especially in the Hustisford area recently. And that's of course a neighboring school district, a neighboring county to us here in Washington County. And my heart goes out to the folks in Hustisford as they kind of have to work through and think through what the future is going to look like after generations and generations of Hustisford School District. But it's just one example all across Wisconsin of similar circumstances. We have a school funding formula that was really created in the 1970s when the number of children was increasing. It felt like it would never end. It was slightly modified in the 90s, where it was very much the same, and now here we are in the 2020s going into the 2030s, and the birth dearth that we always hear about, the declining birth rate, is a real thing. And so it's putting major stress on our school district's long-term funding. But then the formula actually makes it even worse because of the way that the state dollars and property tax dollars interact, and you end up seeing over and over referendums across the state for the last several decades. And then, of course, to add insult to injury, the 400-plus year veto that Governor Evers instituted and the corresponding state budget that was approved actually exacerbates the issue and really pushes the problem straight down to the local level without additional tools to solve it. So Hustisford, unfortunately, is really at the tip of the spear and now starting the conversations about potentially dissolving the district or other equally difficult conversations. But it really is just one symptom of a much, much worse problem. And from what I can tell, no matter whether it's Democrat or Republican, there doesn't seem to be a real urgency to solve for this and change that funding formula to something that works better for everybody. And I heard a lot on the trail about, just let the money follow the kid, and voucher schools will make up the difference, or charter schools, or schooling at home. But the bottom line is 75% of our kids in this state, in some places higher than that, are educated at public schools. So we need to have good, strong public schools and a formula that benefits them and our voucher programs and so much more, and I think it's a real issue that needs to be discussed, and our friends and neighbors in Hustisford are living it and experiencing it in real time.
The solution I hear most frequently from school administrators, school board members, some state lawmakers as well, is that the state aid has not kept up with the rate of inflation, and that state aid needs to increase. Would you agree with that, or do you have another idea?
Yeah, I hear that. I've heard it. It was a group of about 30 superintendents back in January and several legislators. I mean, I definitely think the state having a larger role to play here is certainly appropriate. But we are kind of getting to the point where we have to acknowledge the declining enrollments, the declining birth rates are going to have an exponential impact on this issue, and simply throwing money at the problem isn't going to be enough to solve it writ large. I mean, part of the thing that people don't always think about is we really have several different funding models that are working simultaneously, and they're really set up in the form of a zero-sum game. So let me give you an example of this. If you have a Hustisford student that decides they're going to open enroll over to Hartford Union. And I'm just going to use rough math. These aren't exactly correct numbers, but if they open enroll over to Hartford Union, approximately $10,000 goes to Hartford Union and $8,000 stays at Eustisford. If they go to Eustisford, the $18,000 stays at Eustisford. But if they chose to go to, say, for example, Kettle Moraine Lutheran High School in Jackson on a voucher, $10,000 for that voucher goes to Kettle Moraine Lutheran, and Eustisford keeps zero. In other words, a zero-sum game between public schools and voucher schools. So to say that the state needs to step in and provide more money, it's definitely part of the solution, but it's not the solution writ large, particularly when you're talking about a declining birth rate statewide. We're just going to have lesser and lesser numbers of students to educate. So how do you set up a system that is right-sized for that, but at the same time helps our public schools thrive and our voucher schools thrive, and most importantly is oriented towards kids, not the system, not bureaucracies, not anything like that, but it's really about our kids and the future of our state. And to me, that's way more complicated than just saying, yeah, just have the state throw more money at the issue.
Boy, we could spend a whole hour on this topic, that's
yes,
for sure. But we've got an agenda. We need to keep moving forward. A program you're really excited about, I know, is the Hart and Homestead Earned Down Payment Incentive. That's helping people get access to much-needed housing in Washington County and throughout the whole region. And you have some new developments to share about that.
We do, and it has been such a wildly successful program. I'm so incredibly excited about the positive traction we keep making, and I encourage people to go to our website, washcowisco.gov, and our community development department to go and learn more. But the long story short is we just had another round of down payment incentives open up. We open a portal on our website. I guess on our Economic Development Corporation website, and we had about 54 incentives that were available on April 7th, ironically the same day as Election Day, and within 35 minutes those 54 incentives that we had money for were claimed. So the demand is extraordinarily high, but what I want to leave with people is, you see these down payment programs all throughout the country, different municipalities, different counties, even the federal government itself. What makes ours different is here in Washington County, what we really want to see is not just people choosing to live here and having an incentive to do so, but to get rooted in our community and to participate, whether that's through nonprofits or local churches or volunteer fire companies. And that's what Hart and Homestead really incentivizes. Help you find a place to live, help it make it a little easier to get into that home to live here, but then to be able to give back. And so our program is up to $20,000, and then you can earn it back one of four ways. Of course, you can pay it at 0%, whatever your pace is. For every hour you donate, $25 is deducted, and that's any nonprofit that signs up with us. And you can pick the nonprofit. For every 70 cents you donate to that same, for every dollar you donate, 70 cents is deducted. And in the end, if you don't want to do any of that, when you sell your home, the county would get its $20,000 back. So it's really oriented towards not only having people move here and incentivized to do so, but also to give back and to get rooted in their community, which I think makes us all better off and stronger in the end.
Wow, people snatched all that up in 35 minutes. Will there be any opportunities in the future for people who missed out on this round?
Yeah, great question. So this puts us over and above close to $3.5 million that have been allocated toward the program since it launched in April of 2024. The next round at this moment will be next year at this time. So we've got a little ways to go unless the county board decides to allocate more money, or we have some philanthropists interested in supporting bringing more people to not just live here but get rooted in our community. So we'll wait and see if there's more movement from the county board or philanthropists locally, but otherwise we're waiting until next spring of 2027.
What you just said, putting down roots. The first half of the show, our guests were from Fox Lake, where they're putting up a lot of new housing. And that's really what it's all about. If you want strong schools, if you want strong businesses, it takes people putting down roots in a community, and that takes a home.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's why we call our program Heart and Homestead. Home is where the heart is, and this has kind of reckons back over 100 years to the Homestead Act. It really is about creating a space that you own for yourself, that life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness that's in our Declaration of Independence, but then going one step further and not just living here, but then getting active in your community, because, you know, you find that over time, it's your family and your social connections through your local church or that local nonprofit that you're a part of that helps us all get through times that are good and bad. And we celebrate the good things together, and we go through the difficult things together. And the more we can help you create that social network, and I'm not talking about social media, I think the better off it is for all of us as individuals and us as a community at large. And that's what we want to be seen as one large community, our great community.
Our guest today on Community Comment is Washington County Executive Josh Schoemann. We need to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. You're listening to Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Thank you very much, Jake, and welcome back to Community Comment, everybody. Our guest for this segment is Washington County Executive Josh Schoemann. We invite you to join the program, too, with a question or comment, especially if you live in Washington County. Our talk and text line is 920-887, and also call the WBEV studio line at 885-4446. Washington County is so interesting because it's such an interesting mix of urban, suburban, and rural. And although many people think of Washington County as, you know, a kind of suburban or ex-urban, the Milwaukee area, agriculture is very important in Washington County. And while that's great, that also creates some challenges, especially during planting and harvest seasons. Hello, Josh?
Yes, you have that. Sorry about that.
Oh, I'm
you
sorry.
have that right.
Okay.
It is absolutely something that's on the top of our mind right now. A couple weeks ago, I just had an agricultural listening session with our farmers, and one of the things that they shared over and over again is the more people we see moving into our county from all across Wisconsin, the more their concern level goes up some of these folks not too familiar with how to handle a tractor going 15, 20 miles an hour down the road in a 55 mile an hour zone. So it is something that we live with each and every day, and there's a lot more farming in Washington County than I think most people think of, especially the closer you get to Waukesha and Milwaukee County. But nonetheless, it is an important thing, and it's a good opportunity to remind drivers of tractor safety on the roads, and being cautious behind those tractors. Just take your time. It's more important to be safe than to be in a hurry, and we certainly want to keep not only our farmers safe, but all of our travelers safe.
Yeah, well, since this is live radio, let's do a public service announcement. Share with the public what it is that drivers of passenger vehicles need to know when they're sharing the road with agricultural vehicles.
Well, first of all, a little common sense goes a long way. You've got big vehicles that are taking up large portions of the road, and when you can't see approaching traffic in particular, whether you're going up a hill or around a curve, just be cautious and take your time. Don't be in a giant hurry. Those large tractors oftentimes have large blind spots, so they're not trying to be difficult, but they've got work that they've got to do, and they're trying to go as fast as they can. Be cautious about passing them, and be certain that if you're going to do that you're doing it in a safe way. Know your target for where you're going and beyond, so that you're keeping that certainly that farm worker safe, but also yourself and any potential other travelers that are coming and going. Those are some of the biggest things, but it's important for everybody to heed those lessons, especially during these planting times, and of course, again, once harvesting comes later this fall.
When is it okay to pass an agricultural vehicle, and when is it not okay?
Well, the safest time to do it is in a passing zone when you can clearly see for an extended length of time. That's certainly what we would encourage people to do. But it's got to be a situation where you can see clearly that there is nobody going from the other side, and certainly you're not in a situation ever where you can pass that tractor or that piece of implement along with other vehicles. Just take your time, and you certainly don't want to be passing on curvy roads, whether that's vertical curves or hills, or whether it's horizontal curves and windy roads. So be extra cautious, and just remember, you've got to be a defensive driver. So not just assume that the vehicle coming from the other direction is as attentive or as safe as you are. We want to keep everybody safe out on those highways and byways.
And the drivers of the agricultural vehicles, they have some responsibilities too to go along with their rights.
Yeah, they certainly do. That's right. Having the proper signage and lighting is absolutely important. And when they make their turns and are driving down the road, being in the right positions. The farmers that I've talked to are always very, very conscious of those things, and we'd encourage them to double and triple down to make sure that they are keeping themselves safe, but also all of our travelers safe.
Certainly. Before we go, we should really talk a little bit about Jordan Stoltz. All of Wisconsin is very proud of Jordan Stoltz, but no more so than in Washington County.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Our native son, Jordan, did such a phenomenal job in this Olympics, but, not only that, he's been just a great international athlete, traveling all around the world, and not just being an individual who wins some medals, but also living the values that we have here in Washington County. Maybe people in Dodge County don't realize this, but he lives one township over from Dodge County in the town of Wayne, and we are all so very proud of not only what he's accomplished, but who he is and how he represents himself. You can just tell, loving his neighbor and all the things that he does. And they had a wonderful parade for him in the village of Kewaskum just late last week, and I was able to give a proclamation for his wonderful achievements and for representing the town of Wayne, Washington County, the state of Wisconsin, and all of America, and we couldn't be more proud of him for that.
Certainly. What could this mean for Washington County in the long run? I know any community that puts forth somebody who goes on and does great things. They often play that up as much as they can. Such and such a town, birthplace of so and so. Somebody who's gone, and Beaver Dam, of course, a lot of people were proud of. Fred McMurray is probably one that comes up an awful lot. I imagine Washington County will be bragging up, and Kewaskum will be bragging up Jordan Stoltz for years and decades to come.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think the town of Wayne's already got a sign up home of Jordan Stoltz, and clearly Kewaskum has had the parade. Jordan actually went to Slinger School District for a little while, so they had their day in the limelight as well. And all of us here in Washington County are super proud. I'm sure as time goes on there will be more recognition and things like that. But I think what's most inspiring about Jordan, certainly the accomplishments are wonderful, but he's such a humble and loving kind person that I think it just bodes well and represents not only our county but all of Wisconsin and our country very well. And for that alone, I think people will long remember him as a hero, somebody that you can point to your kids and say, that's the kind of person we want you to be, not just the gold and silver medals, but also just caring for others, and he's such a great emblem of that.
We just have a minute or two left in the program. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell our listeners about?
Well, absolutely. It's National Telecommunications Week, so those are our 911 dispatchers. I want to give a shout out to all the 911 dispatchers in Dodge County, here in Washington County, and all across Wisconsin. This is their week. It is oftentimes one of those types of positions in public safety that people kind of forget about. The firefighters and the police officers and the EMTs get so much credit and so much attention, and the dispatchers are kind of behind the scenes, although they're the first line in crisis. So I want to just take a moment to say thank you to each and every one of the dispatchers throughout the area and throughout the state, and encourage our young people to consider that as a really important profession and an opportunity to be able to serve and give back, especially in people's most desperate times of need. Most all of our counties and communities who have emergency 911 dispatch are looking for dispatchers. There's an urgent need for high-quality dispatchers, and I encourage you to go to washcowisco.gov to apply today, or to your local county or municipality who's hiring 911 dispatchers, and consider that very, very worthwhile, very noble profession of being a 911 dispatcher.
Our guest has been Washington County Executive Josh Schoemann. Josh, thanks so much for joining us on Community Comments.
Great to be back with you. Everyone have a great week. God bless.
You're listening to 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
Big brats.